Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Greg Sloop, and it's time for Live at 5 on this Thursday, June 20th, 2024. Hope you're having a great day. We are continuing our look at well known stories in the Old Testament. Today, we're up to Genesis chapter 39, where Joseph became a slave in Egypt. Man, this story of Joseph, the story of Judah, the story of all the sons of Israel is just, they are so interesting. Yesterday, we had a very interesting story, a rather jarring story of Judah and Tamar, but it shows us that life is real. It shows us that things happen that we don't expect, things happen that we don't want to happen, things happen that are tough to deal with. Today is another one of those stories, a little different tone, a little different circumstance. But Joseph, when he was taken by those Midianite traders, he was taken down to Egypt. Let's look at chapter 39 of Genesis, beginning with verse 1. Now, Joseph had been taken down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he was a successful man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. I mean, it's one thing to be in his company, to be in his barracks, to be over with him at his work or whatever, out with his animals, but he was the in the house of the Egyptian Potiphar. He was favored because God saw something in him and favored him, and he allowed Potiphar to see something in him and favor him as well. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all he did to prosper in his hand. So Joseph found favor in his sight and served him. Then he made him overseer of his house. And all he had, he put under his authority, or in his hand, if you will. Um, Joseph was becoming a success, even though he was a slave, a prisoner, and then a slave. Verse 6 says, thus he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, or in his care, and he did not know what he had, except for the bread or the food which he ate. Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance, and it came to pass after these things that his master's wife, Potiphar's wife, cast longing eyes on Joseph. She lifted up her eyes toward Joseph, and she said, lie with me. Now, it's still got a little bit of a sexual undertone here, but still not quite as bad as the story of Judah and Tamar. Joseph did the right thing, verse 8, but he refused and said to his master's wife, look, my master does not know what is with me in the house, and he has committed all he has to my hand. There is no one greater in this house than I, nor has he kept back anything from me but you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? Joseph had the right attitude, and he was doing the right thing. Verse 10, so it was, as she spoke to Joseph day by day, that he did not heed her, to lie with her, or to be with her. But it happened about this time, when Joseph went into the house to do his work, and none of the men of the house was inside, that she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. But he left his garment in her hand and fled and ran outside. He did the right thing. And so it was, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and fled outside, that she called to the men of her house and spoke to them, saying, see, he has brought into us a Hebrew to mock us, a Hebrew to laugh at us. He came in to me to lie with me, and I cried out with a loud voice. And it happened, when he heard that I lifted my voice and cried out, that he left his garment with me and fled and went outside. She lied. She told a lie on him, and he had to flee. The girl made it look like he was trying to rape her. And in all honesty, Joseph was the innocent party here, but because he would not lie with his master's wife, he was being accused of a serious, serious crime. Verse 19. So it was, when his master heard the things which his wife spoke to him, saying, your servant did to me after this manner, that his anger was aroused. Then Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were confined. And he was there in the prison. That statement alone is sad. And he was there in the prison. Mm. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison, or he caused him to be viewed with favor by the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners who were in the prison. Whatever they did there, it was his doing. The keeper of the prison did not look into anything that was under Joseph's care or authority, under his hand, because the Lord was with him, and whatever he did, the Lord made it prosper. Mm. This story is tough because Joseph did everything right. Joseph was favored in his master's sight. God gave him favor. He was ruling the house of Potiphar, one of the main leaders in Egypt, the captain of the guard that protected the Pharaoh. And he was lied on, and because of one lie and one false accusation, he lost his position, he lost his job, and he lost his freedom, was put in prison. And even in prison, God gave Joseph favor. Mm. So when you're feeling bad that somebody's giving you a hard time, when you feel like somebody's not doing you right, don't be sad. Don't be overwhelmed. Simply say, I remember Joseph. And I remember that he was disliked by his brothers and they sold him into slavery. He was sold as a slave to a rich man. The rich man's wife tried to be with him, and when he did the right thing, she lied and got him thrown in prison. See, that's not the end of the story. God still was giving him favor, even in prison, and he will give him favor in even greater places in the stories to come. That's the word for today. God's favor does not is not affected by your circumstances. Absolutely not. Good to see several of you on with us today. I see Kathleen Pallas, Sharon Noblet, Richard Britt, Sander Flowers. Uh, I see Nigat Sumaira. Several of you on here today. There are others that don't have their names up, but thank you for being with us. And whether it's now or later, 5 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon or Thursday night, Friday, whatever time of day or night you're with us, we're glad you're here. And it is our honor to present this Word of God to you in this short format each day, Sunday through Friday. Spend some time with God every day in the Word of God and prayer. I believe Joseph did just that, and that's why he had favor with God. It'll be the best thing you do all day, any day that you live. Please know we love you and we're praying for you, and I look forward to seeing each of you again tomorrow